Dr. Maya worked late again in her small home office. The clock showed to 30 a.m. But she couldn't sleep. Her research on how the brain works kept her busy day and night. Coffee cups filled her desk, and papers were scattered everywhere. She rubbed her tired eyes and tried to focus on the computer screen. That night, something strange happened. When Maya finally fell asleep at her desk, she had the most real dream of her life. But calling it a dream didn't feel right. Everything seemed to clear, to detail in this experience. Maya found herself standing in a place that looked like space, but different. Colors moved around her like living things. Suddenly, she wasn't alone anymore. Something was there with her, but she couldn't see it properly. It was like trying to look at light itself. "Hello, Maya," a voice said inside her head, not through her ears, but directly in her thoughts. Maya jumped awake at her desk. Her heart was beating fast. She looked around her office. Everything was normal. The lamp was still on. Her papers were still messy, and her coffee was cold. She shook her head and laughed nervously. Too much work, she told herself. That's what happens when you study brains all day. But when she went to bed that night, it happened again. The same colorful space, the same feeling of someone being there. This time, the presence felt stronger. "Don't be afraid," the voice said. "I need to talk to you." "Who are you?" Maya asked, surprised that she could speak in this strange place. "My name is Zara. I come from somewhere very different from your world. I exist as pure thought, pure energy. I don't have a body like you do." Maya woke up again, but this time she wasn't scared. She was curious. As a brain scientist, she knew dreams could feel real sometimes, but this felt different. The conversations were too clear, too logical. In normal dreams, things jumped around. It made no sense. These experiences followed a clear pattern. For the next week, Maya met Zara every night. Each time, their conversations became longer and clearer. Zara explained that she lived in a place where beings didn't need bodies. They existed as consciousness, as thinking energy that could move freely through space. Your world and mine are connected, Zara explained during one of their meetings. We can sometimes reach across to each other, but it's very rare. I've been trying to contact humans for a long time. Your mind is special, Maya, because you study how brains work. You can hear me better than others. Maya started looking forward to these nightly meetings. During the day, she researched everything she could about consciousness, telepathy, and unusual brain activities. She found some scientific papers about people who claimed to have telepathic experiences, but most scientists didn't take them seriously. "Maybe I'm losing my mind," Maya thought during one particularly long day at work. But deep down, she knew something real was happening. The conversations with Zara were too detailed, too consistent to be just dreams. One night, Zara seemed more worried than usual. The colorful space around them looked dimmer, less bright. "Maya, I need to tell you something important," Zara said. "I didn't contact you just to talk. My people are in trouble, and we need help." "What kind of trouble?" Maya asked. "It's hard to explain in your language. We exist on thought energy, on the power that comes from consciousness. For thousands of years, we've been connected to human minds, feeding off the energy that your thoughts create." Maya felt a chill. "Feeding off our thoughts? That sounds scary." No, Zara said quickly. "We don't hurt anyone. Think of it like sunlight feeding a plant. You don't lose anything when we connect to your thoughts. But lately, something has changed." Zara explained that human thoughts have become different over time. People were thinking in more controlled ways, more careful ways. The natural, wild energy that used to flow from human minds was getting weaker. "Your people have become very good at controlling their thoughts," Zara said. "You organize everything, analyze everything, make everything proper and clean. But we need the raw, unfiltered thoughts to survive." Maya was starting to understand. "So you need people to think more naturally." "Exactly. But here's the problem, Maya. Even you do it. Right now, as we talk, your scientific mind is organizing everything I say. You're making it neat and logical. But I need you to stop doing that. I don't understand. Maya said, when we communicate, you automatically clean up the thoughts. You make them proper and scientific. But I need you to let your mind be completely open, completely unfiltered. Think the first thing that comes to your head, not the second or third thing after you've made it nice. Maya woke up feeling confused. How could she stop her brain from working the way it always worked? As a scientist, she was trained to think carefully, to analyze everything, to be logical and proper. Zara was asking her to do the opposite. The next few nights, Maya tried to understand what Zara meant every time they met. Zara seemed more desperate. My people are dying, Maya, Zara said. Our energy is running out. We need raw human thought energy. But we can't get it if every human we contact automatically filters their thoughts. But how do I stop filtering? Maya asked. It's like asking me to stop breathing. I know it's hard, Zara said. But you're our only hope. Your mind is the clearest connection we've ever found. If anyone can learn to think without filters, it's you. Maya realized that what started as fascinating nightly conversations had become something much more serious. An entire species was depending on her ability to change the way she thought. But she had no idea how to do it. As the days passed, Maya found herself thinking about Zara constantly. During work, during meals, during everything she did. She was no longer just curious about these experiences. She was starting to care about this strange alien being who needed her help. But the question remained, how could she learn to think without the mental training that had shaped her entire life? And what would happen to her own mind if she succeeded? Maya couldn't concentrate at work anymore. Every day felt like waiting for nighttime to come. She kept thinking about Zara and the impossible request. How could she stop her brain from working the way it always had? During lunch break, Maya sat alone in the cafeteria, picking at her sandwich. Her colleague Dr. Kim noticed her distracted behavior. You look tired, Maya. Everything okay? Kim asked, sitting down across from her. Maya almost wanted to tell someone about her strange experiences. But she knew how crazy it would sound. Just working too hard, I guess. Strange dreams lately. Maybe you need a vacation, Kim suggested. You've been pushing yourself pretty hard with that consciousness research. If only she knew. Maya thought, this wasn't about work stress anymore. This was about something that could change everything she understood about the universe. That night, Maya prepared differently for her meeting with Zara. She tried to clear her mind, to not think about anything in particular. But the harder she tried, the more her thoughts seemed to organize themselves automatically. When she found herself in that familiar colorful space, Zara appeared more clearly than ever before. The alien's energy form seemed brighter, more defined. Maya, I need to explain more about what's happening to my people, Zara said, her voice carrying a tone of urgency. Time is running out faster than I thought. Tell me everything, Maya said. I want to understand. Zara's form shifted, and suddenly Maya could see images forming in the space around them. It was like watching a movie made of pure light and color. This is my world, Zara explained. The images showed a realm where beings of pure energy moved through space like dancing lights. We don't have cities or buildings like you do. We exist as consciousness, as living thoughts. Maya watched in amazement as the light beings communicated by merging their energies, sharing thoughts instantly across vast distances. It's beautiful, Maya whispered. Yes, but it's dying, Zara said sadly. The images changed, showing the light beings growing dimmer, moving slower. We need thought energy to survive, Maya. For thousands of years, we've been connected to human minds. Your species generates the most powerful consciousness energy we've ever found. But I still don't understand, Maya said. How do our thoughts help you? Zara paused, as if trying to find the right words. Every time a human thinks, feels, dreams, or reacts to something, you create energy. But not all thoughts are the same. The most powerful energy comes from unfiltered thoughts, the first reaction, the immediate feeling, the basic instinct before your logical mind takes over. Maya began to see the problem, and humans have become too controlled in our thinking. Exactly. In the past, humans lived more by instinct. Your thoughts were wild, immediate, powerful. Now, your society teaches you to think carefully, to be polite, to control every reaction. You've become very good at it, but it's killing us. The images around them showed human civilization. Through time, Maya saw early humans reacting immediately to everything around them: fear, joy, anger, excitement, all expressed without hesitation. Then she saw modern humans pausing before every reaction, thinking before speaking, controlling every emotion. We're more civilized now, Maya said. Yes, but civilization has a cost. Zara replied, your unfiltered thoughts, your immediate reactions, your basic instincts, your spontaneous feelings, these create the strongest energy. When you filter everything through logic and social rules, the energy becomes weak. Maya felt a chill as she realized what Zara was really asking. You want me to think without any control at all? I need you to let your mind be completely open during our connection, Zara explained. Don't organize your thoughts. Don't make them proper or scientific. Don't worry about what's appropriate or logical. Just let your mind react naturally to everything. But that goes against everything I've learned, Maya said. As a scientist, I'm trained to think logically, to analyze, to be careful with my thoughts. I know it's difficult, Zara said, her energy form flickering with what seemed like desperation. But Maya, entire worlds of consciousness are fading away. My children, my family, billions of beings who have existed for millions of years, they're all depending on this connection. Maya felt the weight of responsibility crushing down on her. What if I can't do it? What if I'm not strong enough? You're the only human we've ever been able to communicate with this clearly. Zara said, your mind is naturally more open because of your research into consciousness. If anyone can learn to think without filters, it's you. But what will happen to me if I do this? Maya asked. Will I still be myself? Zara was quiet for a long moment. I don't know, she admitted. We've never asked a human to do this before. But Maya, without this help, my entire species will cease to exist within days. Maya woke up with her heart pounding. The conversation felt more real than her actual life. She could still see those images of Zara's dying world in her mind. The responsibility was overwhelming. For the next few days, Maya tried to research what Zara was asking. She read about meditation techniques, about accessing subconscious thoughts, about primitive brain functions. But everything she found was about controlling the mind, not about letting it run wild. She started small experiments. During her daily routine, she tried to notice her first reaction to things before her logical mind took over. When someone cut in front of her in line, what was her immediate feeling before she told herself to be polite? When she tasted her morning coffee, what was her instant reaction before she evaluated whether it was good or bad? Maya discovered that she had dozens of immediate reactions every day that she automatically filtered out. Her mind was constantly editing her thoughts, making them socially acceptable, scientifically logical, emotionally controlled. As the days passed, Zara seemed more desperate during their nightly meetings. The colorful space around them was definitely getting dimmer. Please, Maya, Zara begged during one meeting. I can feel my people getting weaker. Some of the younger ones have already faded away completely. Maya felt tears in her eyes, which was strange since she wasn't sure if she actually had eyes in this place. I'm trying, Zara, but I don't know how to turn off a lifetime of training. Then let me help you. Zara said, tomorrow night, I'll try to guide you through it. But Maya, you have to trust me completely. You have to let go of every control you've ever learned. Maya nodded, though she was terrified. She was about to attempt something that could change her mind forever. All to save beings she'd never seen in a world she'd never visited. But as she looked at Zara's fading energy, she knew she had to try. Maya spent the entire day preparing herself mentally for what Zara had planned. She tried meditation, breathing exercises, and even looked up old psychology books about accessing the subconscious mind. Nothing felt like enough preparation for what she was about to attempt. At work, she made silly mistakes that she never made before. During a meeting, she completely forgot what she was saying mid-sentence. Her colleagues started giving her worried looks. "Maya, maybe you should take the rest of the day off," her supervisor suggested after she accidentally mixed up two important research files. "You seem really distracted lately." Maya wanted to laugh. If only they knew she was trying to save an alien species by learning to think like a wild animal. Instead, she just nodded and packed her things. That evening, Maya sat in her bedroom, staring at her reflection in the mirror. "Okay, Maya," she said to herself. "You're about to let an alien being guide you into thinking without any control. This is either the most important thing you'll ever do, or you're completely losing your mind." When she finally fell asleep, the meeting with Zara felt different immediately. The colorful space around them was definitely dimmer than before, and Zara's energy forms seemed weaker. "Are you ready?" Zara asked, though her voice sounded tired. "I don't think anyone can be ready for this," Maya replied honestly. "But I'll try." "Good. First, I need you to stop analyzing what I'm saying. Right now, your mind is organizing my words, making them logical, preparing responses. I can feel it happening." Maya realized Zara was right, even as they spoke. Her brain was automatically processing everything, categorizing it, making sense of it. "How do I stop something that happens automatically?" "Think of it like learning to relax a muscle you've kept tense your whole life," Zara explained. "Start by noticing when you're doing it, then gently let go." For the next hour, Zara guided Maya through exercises that felt completely unnatural. Maya had to respond to Zara's questions without thinking first, speak without planning her words, react without considering if her response made sense. At first, it was frustrating. Every time Maya tried to let go, her scientific training kicked in. She couldn't help but analyze, organize, and control her thoughts. "This is impossible," Maya said after another failed attempt. "It's like asking me to forget how to read. Try." Again, Zara encouraged. "This time, imagine you're a child again. Children don't filter their thoughts the way adults do." Maya thought about when she was 5 years old, before school taught her to think properly. Before she learned that some thoughts were appropriate and others weren't. Slowly, she began to feel something shift in her mind. "Better," Zara said. And Maya could hear excitement in her voice. "I can feel the difference. The energy is stronger now." As Maya continued practicing, something strange began to happen. The telepathic connection became incredibly clear. She could sense Zara's thoughts and emotions as if they were her own. But more than that, she started experiencing flashes of what Zara's world was like. Maya saw through Zara's perspective and felt what it was like to exist as pure consciousness. There was no physical body to worry about, no need for food or sleep or shelter. Just pure thought and feeling, flowing freely through space and time. "This is amazing." Maya whispered, "I can feel how you experience existence." "Yes, but it's working both ways," Zara said, sounding surprised. "I'm also experiencing what it's like to have a physical body. I can feel your heartbeat, your breathing. I never knew humans experienced so many sensations all at once." Night after night, Maya practiced letting go of her mental controls. Each time, the connection grew stronger, but it also became more exhausting. During the day, Maya found it harder to concentrate on normal activities. Her organized, scientific way of thinking felt forced and uncomfortable. At work, she started having unusual insights that she couldn't explain logically while reviewing brain scan data. She would suddenly understand patterns that should have taken weeks of analysis to figure out. But when colleagues asked her to explain her reasoning, she couldn't put it into scientific terms. "It just feels right," she would say, which made her fellow scientists look at her strangely. Maya also noticed changes in her daily life. Colors seemed brighter, food tasted more intense, and she found herself reacting emotionally to things that never bothered her before. A sad song on the radio made her cry. A beautiful sunset made her feel overwhelming joy. "What's happening to me?" Maya asked Zara during one of their sessions. "You're learning to access parts of your mind that most humans ignore," Zara explained. "The deeper levels of consciousness that connect to basic instincts and emotions. It's Like you've been living in only one room of a huge house, and now you're exploring the other rooms. But I feel like I'm losing control of my own thoughts, Maya said. Sometimes I have reactions that don't make logical sense. That's exactly what we need, Zara said. Those uncontrolled reactions generate the energy that can save my people. But I understand it's frightening for you. As weeks passed, Maya could see that their connection was helping. Zara seemed stronger, more vibrant. The colorful space around them was getting brighter again. It's working, Maya, Zara said one night, her energy form practically glowing with excitement. I can feel my people getting stronger, some who were fading or returning to full consciousness. Maya felt proud but also worried. The changes in her own mind were becoming more noticeable. She caught herself responding to situations with pure instinct before her logical mind could interfere. Sometimes this led to brilliant insights, but other times it led to embarrassing social situations. At a dinner party with friends, Maya found herself speaking without her usual careful consideration. She told people exactly what she thought about their relationships, their jobs, their life choices. While her honesty was refreshing to some, others were hurt by her blunt reactions. Maya, you seem different lately, her friend Lisa said after the party. More intense, more direct. Maya realized that learning to think without filters was changing more than just her telepathic abilities. It was changing who she was as a person. Zara, Maya said during their next meeting, I'm starting to worry about what this is doing to my normal life. People are noticing that I'm different. I know this is difficult, Zara replied. But Maya, you're not just saving my people, you're discovering parts of human consciousness that your species has forgotten. This could change everything for both our kinds. Maya found herself caught between two worlds. During the day, she struggled to fit into normal human society with her increasingly unfiltered thoughts. At night, she explored realms of consciousness she never knew existed. But as she watched Zara grow stronger and felt the connection between their minds deepening, Maya realized there was no going back. She was becoming something new, something between human and alien consciousness. The question was, would she still be herself when this was all over? Something was changing between Maya and Zara, and neither of them expected it. What started as a desperate attempt to save Zara's people had become something much deeper and more complicated. Maya noticed it first during one of their nightly meetings. As she practiced letting her thoughts flow freely, she suddenly felt something she'd never experienced before. For just a moment, she could sense what Zara was feeling, not just hear her thoughts, but actually feel her emotions as if they were her own. Did you feel that too? Maya asked, startled by the intensity of the connection. Yes, Zara replied, her energy form flickering with what looked like confusion. I felt your surprise, your wonder. It was like experiencing emotion for the first time. This new development changed everything. Before, their connection had been one way, Maya opening her unfiltered thoughts so Zara could gather the energy her people needed. But now, something was flowing back from Zara to Maya. Night after night, their mental connection grew stronger. Maya began experiencing glimpses of what it felt like to exist as pure consciousness. She would float through Zara's memories, seeing the universe from a completely different perspective. Your world is so peaceful, Maya said during one of these shared experiences. No physical pain, no hunger, no fear of death, but also no physical pleasure, Zara replied. I never understood what humans meant by the joy of eating favorite food, or the comfort of a warm hug, or the satisfaction of stretching after sitting too long. Through you, I'm learning what it means to live in a body. During the day, Maya found these shared experiences affecting her more and more. She would be working at her desk and suddenly feel an overwhelming sense of freedom, as if she could float through walls. Or she would be eating lunch and feel confused by the physical sensations of taste and texture, seeing them through Zara's perspective as strange and wonderful. Her colleagues definitely noticed the changes. During a research meeting, Maya started explaining a complex theory about consciousness in ways that made perfect sense, but weren't based on any human scientific knowledge. Where did you learn this approach? Dr. Peterson asked, looking puzzled. I've never seen this perspective in any of our literature. Maya paused, realizing she was sharing insights that came from Zara's understanding of consciousness, not from human research. It's just a new way of thinking about the problem, she said weakly, but the changes went beyond just new knowledge. Maya's entire relationship with her physical body was shifting. Sometimes she would forget that she needed to eat, or she would stand in the shower fascinated by the sensation of water, as if experiencing it for the first time. Her friend Lisa became seriously worried after Maya showed up to their weekly coffee meeting, acting completely different. Maya, you keep staring at your coffee cup like you've never seen one before, Lisa said. And when I asked about your work, you started talking about consciousness existing in multiple dimensions. That's not like you at all, Maya tried to explain. Without sounding crazy, I've been doing some deep research into consciousness. It's changing how I see everything. But you seem like a different person, Lisa said with concern. It's like you're seeing the world through someone else's eyes. That comment hit Maya harder than she expected. Was she becoming someone else? The line between her thoughts and Zara's was becoming increasingly blurred. That night, Maya confronted Zara about what was happening to them. I think we're becoming too connected. Maya said, I can barely tell where my thoughts end and yours begin. I know, Zara admitted. I'm experiencing the same thing. I find myself thinking about human concepts that should be completely foreign to me. Yesterday, I spent hours trying to understand what humans call homesickness because I felt it through our connection. Is this dangerous? Maya asked. Are we losing ourselves? I don't know. Zara said honestly. This has never happened before. We've never had such a deep connection with a human consciousness, despite the uncertainty. Both of them found the experience fascinating. Maya discovered that consciousness was far more flexible than she'd ever imagined. She could shift between her human perspective and Zara's alien viewpoint, seeing the same situations in completely different ways. When Maya looked at a sunset through her human eyes, she saw beauty, felt nostalgia, remembered other sunsets from her past when she experienced the same sunset through Zara's consciousness. She saw patterns of energy, felt the connection between the sun and all living things, understood it as part of a vast cosmic dance. This is incredible, Maya told Zara. I'm learning that consciousness isn't fixed. We can experience reality in completely different ways, yes, and through you. I'm learning that physical existence isn't limiting the way my people always thought. Zara replied, having a body doesn't trap consciousness, it gives it new ways to experience the universe. But their deepening connection was affecting both their worlds. Maya's research took revolutionary new directions as she combined human scientific knowledge with Zara's understanding of consciousness as energy. She started writing papers that her colleagues found brilliant but couldn't quite understand. Meanwhile, Zara began sharing her experiences with her people. The energy Maya provided wasn't just saving them, it was teaching them about aspects of consciousness they'd never considered. My people are fascinated by your memories, Zara told Maya. They're experiencing secondhand what it's like to taste chocolate, to feel rain, to laugh with friends. Some of them want to try connecting with other humans. This possibility both excited and worried Maya. Are other humans ready for this kind of connection? I barely handled it, and I study consciousness for a living. That's what concerns me too, Zara said. Our connection worked because your mind was already open to these possibilities. Most humans might not be able to handle it. As their bond grew stronger, Maya realized they were creating something entirely new, a bridge between two completely different forms of consciousness. She was no longer fully human in her thinking, and Zara was no longer purely alien. What are we becoming? Maya asked during one of their deepest connections. Something neither of our species has ever been before, Zara replied. We're proving that consciousness can evolve, can merge, can become something greater than either of us alone. But Maya worried about the cost. Her human relationships were suffering as she became less able to relate to purely human concerns. Her work, while groundbreaking, was becoming too advanced for her colleagues to understand. I feel like I'm caught between two worlds, Maya told Zara. I don't fully belong in either one anymore. Maybe that's not a problem, Zara suggested. Maybe we're meant to be bridges, helping both our species understand each other. As Maya considered this possibility, she realized their accidental merger of consciousness might be the beginning of something much larger than just saving Zara's people. They might be creating a new form of existence that could change both species forever. But first, they had to figure out how to control this connection before it completely overwhelmed both of them. Maya woke up one morning feeling different than she had in weeks. For the first time since her connection with Zara deepened, her thoughts felt clear and organized. She could distinguish between her own human perspective and the alien consciousness she'd been sharing. Something's changed, she said to Zara that night during their meeting. The colorful space around them looked brighter and more stable than ever before. I feel it too, Zara replied, her energy forms seeming more solid and defined. I think we're finally learning to balance our connection instead of being overwhelmed by it. Over the past few weeks, both of them had been working on understanding what had happened between them. Instead of fighting the merger of their consciousness, they had started exploring it as a new form of communication. I've been thinking about what you said about being bridges between our species, Maya said. What if that's exactly what we're supposed to be? Maya had spent days reviewing her research notes, comparing her old scientific work with the insights she gained through her connection with Zara. What she discovered amazed her. Zara, I think we've been approaching this all wrong, Maya explained excitedly. Your people thought they needed unfiltered human thoughts, raw primitive energy. But that's only half the equation. What do you mean? Zara asked. Human consciousness is powerful precisely because it has layers, Maya said. We have primitive instincts, but we also have logic, creativity, emotion, and imagination all working together. The real power comes from the combination, not from just one layer. Through their shared experiences, Maya had learned that Zara's people had been trying to harvest only the basic, instinctual thoughts from humans. But human consciousness was much more complex than they realized. When I let go of my mental filters, I wasn't just accessing primitive thoughts, Maya continued. I was allowing all levels of my consciousness to work together without barriers. That created much stronger energy than any single type of thinking. Zara was quiet for a moment, processing this revelation. So my people have been starving not because humans became too controlled, but because we were only taking part of what human consciousness offers. Exactly, Maya said. And I think I know how to fix this. Maya had developed a new approach to their connection. Instead of trying to turn off her scientific mind, she learned to let it work together with her instincts, emotions, and intuition. When all parts of her consciousness collaborated freely, the energy generated was incredible. This feels completely different, Zara said as Maya demonstrated the new technique. The energy is not just stronger, it's more complete, more nourishing. And the best part is that I don't have to lose myself to create it, Maya added. I can be fully human and still provide what your people need. This breakthrough led to another important discovery. As Zara shared this new understanding with her people, they realized they had been approaching the energy crisis all wrong. They didn't need humans to become primitive again. They needed to learn to connect with the full complexity of human consciousness. My people are amazed, Zara reported during one of their meetings. This new form of energy connection is healing our world faster than we ever imagined possible. But more than that, it's teaching us things about consciousness we never knew. Through Maya's human perspective, Zara's people were learning about creativity, about the joy of discovery, about the strength that comes from facing physical challenges. They were experiencing emotions and sensations they'd never had in their energy-based existence. Some of my people want to try creating temporary physical forms, Zara said with excitement. They want to experience what it's like to have bodies, to touch things, to taste food. Meanwhile, Maya's research had taken revolutionary directions. By combining her scientific training with Zara's understanding of consciousness as energy, she was developing theories that could change how humans understood their own minds. I'm writing papers that are going to shock the scientific community, Maya told Zara. but I have proof now. Our connection is evidence that consciousness can exist independently from the brain, that it can communicate across impossible distances, that it's far more flexible than we ever imagined. Maya's colleagues were already noticing her groundbreaking work. Dr. Peterson approached her after a presentation, where she demonstrated new techniques for studying consciousness. "Maya, I don't know how you developed these insights, but they're revolutionary," he said. "You're describing consciousness in ways that could rewrite everything we know about the human mind." Maya smiled, knowing she couldn't explain the real source of her knowledge. Sometimes the biggest discoveries come from being open to completely new perspectives, she said. But the most important change was in Maya herself. She had learned to exist comfortably in both human and alien perspectives. During the day, she could function perfectly well in human society, enjoying friendships, appreciating physical pleasures, and pursuing her scientific career. At night, she could shift into the expanded consciousness she shared with Zara, exploring realms of thought and energy that most humans never imagined. "I feel like I've become more human, not less," Maya told Zara. "Understanding consciousness from your perspective has made me appreciate what's special about being human. And learning about physical existence through you has made my people value what they have as pure consciousness," Zara replied. "We're both becoming more ourselves, not losing our identities." Their connection had evolved into something sustainable and beneficial for both species. Maya could provide the complete consciousness energy that Zara's people needed, without sacrificing her human life. Zara could share the wisdom of her species with Maya without overwhelming her human mind. "I think we should teach others how to do this," Maya suggested. "Other humans who study consciousness, other members of your species who want to understand physical existence." "Are you sure humans are ready for this?" Zara asked. Maya thought about her colleagues, her friends, the wider world of human consciousness. "Research, Samar," she said. "We can start small, with people who are already exploring the boundaries of human consciousness. Scientists, meditators, people who study dreams and unusual mental states." Over the following months, Maya carefully began sharing her discoveries. She published papers describing new techniques for consciousness research, though she couldn't reveal their true source. She started teaching meditation and awareness practices that help other humans access deeper levels of their own minds. Meanwhile, Zara worked with her people to establish more connections with humans who were ready for the experience. They learned to create balanced relationships that benefited both species, without overwhelming anyone. "We're creating a new form of evolution," Maya realized. "Not biological evolution, but consciousness evolution. Both our species are becoming more than they were before." The crisis that had brought Maya and Zara together had become the foundation for something much greater. Two completely different forms of consciousness had learned to communicate, to share, and to grow together. What started as a desperate attempt to save my people has become the beginning of a new chapter for both our species, Zara said. Maya nodded, looking out at the stars through her bedroom window. Somewhere out there, beings of pure energy were thriving again, enriched by their understanding of physical existence. And here on Earth, humans were beginning to discover that consciousness was far more vast and wonderful than they had ever imagined. "I think this is just the beginning," Maya said. "Who knows what we'll discover as more humans and more of your people learn to connect this way." As Maya drifted off to sleep, ready for another night of exploring consciousness with her alien friend, she felt grateful for the strange request that had changed her life forever. What had seemed like an impossible demand had become the greatest gift she could have received. The chance to help the species understand each other and grow beyond what either could be alone.